gentlemen, we are live. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the latest episode of the Tim King Show. And as you know, I usually do some quick, long-winded introduction with myself and talk about what I'm going to do and bring my guests in. But I don't give a shit about any of that tonight. Tonight is a very special show. Tonight, we are just kicking it with the Bloodline, baby. We are coming off a fantastic weekend of wrestling. We had WWE Night of Champions. We had AEW Double or Nothing in. Specifically speaking, that is what we are here to talk about tonight, AEW Double or Nothing. So if you are watching, please go ahead and hit that like button. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And we're not just here via video. We have audio as well. Go and search the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Put it in Google. You'll find us on Spreaker, Spotify, and more. And when you're doing that, you'll find the BloodlineNetwork.com. That's right, BloodlineNetwork.com. Sports, wrestling, entertainment, our videos, our audio, all in one place. This man, my boy, right underneath me. Brett, all his match ratings.
Even though I haven't done it in a few weeks, but
he's not also right. He's not also beneath you as a person.
Well, of course he's not beneath me as a person. He's right underneath me, right here on this show, Bo. And let's introduce Bo. We have Bo in the house from the Brainbuster Boys podcast. What's up, Bo? And T. What's up, T?
Hey.
How you guys doing? Yo, and you know what's cool? You know what's cool about wrestling?
Let's go I turned 35 this week, or this weekend. So we
right. So T, yes. This is your first big wrestling show in a long time. How was your experience with AEW Double or Nothing?
I would honestly say I loved it for the first time. I love all the different scenes that it had, so it's pretty dope. It was pretty dope.
That's awesome. And that's what you want to hear from someone who hasn't watched wrestling, man. For sure.
And I was even telling him this was a weaker pay-per-view, but we still had a ball over here.
Okay.
And it was, but isn't that all that matters, right? Like the pay-per-view might have been C quality, but if you're hanging out with your friends, it always will bring it up to like a B quality. But we were talking about Brainbuster Boys. That was Bo and T. And it's Brett. Our boy Brett, what's going on, man? How you doing, dude?
Yo, I'm here. We've had 2 underwhelming pay-per-views this weekend, but still a good time, like they were solid. We had some fun.
Yeah.
And the last 2 matches saved the show tonight, without a doubt. Like those were both fucking wonderful. And Tim, we were texting, but the moment Chris Statlander came back, and I had said it, I'm like, Statlander's going to be the one to take this belt off her. And then she came out, and I must have missed if they said something about, a match is happening, and then all of a sudden the bell rang, and wow, yeah, that was tight. So, really springboarded the show to the next, or to the level we're used to, because the beginning was just rather mid, as our friend Max would say.
Yeah, I don't like to use that word, but it was quite mid for sure. And next to you on the bottom, the first effing lady of the Bloodline Entertainment Network, and I believe first time on the Tim King Show.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
After all this time.
Well, that is awesome. So thank you and welcome. Wow, I don't know what the hell that was going on. Welcome. I was trying to put you on the solo. I fucking put him on the solo. Put you right there on the main screen. Welcome to the Tim King Show. I'm so glad to have you. It is an honor to have you. I'm usually accustomed to coming on your show on Thursdays to do the prediction shows and whatnot, but I'm glad to have you. And we just had a hell of a time doing the AEW Double or Nothing watch along. So go back on the Bloodline Entertainment Network. Check that out. How you doing, First Lady?
I am doing great. Like Brett said, the start of the pay-per-view was meh. It wasn't that exciting or anything like that. But as we had gotten more, towards the end of the tag team match, it started to really pick up. We had the return of Chris Statlander. We had title changes and everything going like that. And then, of course, the 4 Pillars match was crazy. And then, of course, the Anarchy of the Arena Part 2 with the music playing live and the craziness and the thumbtack and the foot and everything like that is just crazy. I hope that they have a pay-per-view in Philly and they have an Anarchy in the Arena match so I could witness that live, because that felt like a good ass time to just sit there and sing the songs and watch the craziness and things like that. So yeah, the pay-per-view ended up being good for me, but it just started off very poorly, which, you know, I was pretty sad about. They could have made a few changes to make it better. Like, we didn't really need the battle royale match or anything like that. We could have simply shortened it and had it, you know, a nice five fatal 5-way match or something like that. But yeah, it's just it saved it at the end though.
But hell, the battle royal to us was the best match until the last two. So
I would think, like, when do you think they would give out a lyric sheet to Wild Thing so everyone knows where?
I know. They should have the bouncing ball at the bottom.
Flip through that shit.
They should have the words at the bottom with the bouncing ball, so we could all sing along.
They should have like played it like across the arena, like through the crowd. That would have been tight.
I do love that they rehashed that. And sorry, we keep holding up Justin. God damn it. Love you, Justin.
Stop it. There is no it is 11:33 Central.
It's Tim
it
King
is 12:33 on the east side.
It is.
Like, do you think there is any sort of holdup going on right now? What we are going? You text me and you said you got any sort of Tim King after dark going on, and I said we'll just pull it up and talk some AEW Dynamite, and whoever wants to hop on and come talk, let's talk, dude. And that is exactly what you gave the idea. I'm appreciative of.
I didn't think it was actually going to happen, and then I'm like, oh shit, and we've got you on the big TV here.
Yo, you want to make it happen?
Well, my roommate's trying to sleep.
Oh god, that's a problem if I'm there, dude, because then he got the full TK intro and all, so I was full blown it. But you're right. And JD, it was the last couple of matches were a fun show. I feel you on the Battle Royal because I didn't like the booking of the participants inside.
Did you bring Justin in already or what?
I won't. I will not bring Justin in. For fuck's sake, fuck him.
The reason why, Justin, you haven't been brought in is because this is the Star Trek 5 of podcasts.
Yeah.
Our favorite line here.
And you know what? Let's bring him in. All right. My boy, my tag team partner from the In Time Wrestling podcast. Throw your ones up. Throw your two sweets up. It has been like a week too long because anytime I don't see your beautiful face, let's too sweet me. Oh, baby.
Bow. I gotta say it right now. The Bloodline is now on your devices, ready to penetrate your eyeballs and your earlobes.
Let's go. Let's go. Hell yes. Justin, how you feeling, man? How you been?
Doing pretty good. I'm like I said, I'm with Brett with the whole, weekend shows so far. Just kind of been like, man. But especially for this Double or Nothing, those last two matches absolutely saved that show astronomically. They were absolutely insane, incredible. Like I just can't even put the words. Like the rest of the show just felt so. Like we were just Battle Royal was fun. Then we hit a snag right after, and then we had the tag match, and it was just like, oh, this is it. And then the ending of that was just like it picked up. It was just like a roller coaster in the beginning, and then we just blasted off with those final two matches.
Sure. Yeah, not a lot of stakes. I felt like in that early mid card stuff.
Yeah.
Not a lot of stakes.
Everything similar to Night of Champions last night for me until the end felt very flat. Like Tim, I was saying it on text earlier, like AJ, Seth, to me, great work, good match, fine match. But like the drama wasn't there. The urgency wasn't there. And that's how this whole show tonight felt until the end. It's just like we're just kind of going through the motions. It's enjoyable. Everything's around like a 3 to 3 and 7 5-star range, but like nothing was really getting my heart going.
But in terms of like who wins and who loses too, it's like even for the Anarchy in the Arena match, as fun as it was, it's like, well, Blackpool wins, but that doesn't really like move the needle in any significant way.
It moves it now with Takeshita, baby.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
According to my name, Mr. News got it. Got to give him all credit. Dan Bakley here, because we've been talking about this shit for weeks, and it was something I hadn't thought about until he mentioned, but he called the Takeshita thing before me, before anyone I know, and just got to put our boy over.
And really, the most consequential match was like fucking Tony Storm. You know, like there was like a title change there.
Yeah.
And like, not like a lot of more status quo, not a lot of like, you know, shifting or things like that, especially for their, you know, this is their big pay-per-view, right?
Yeah, and we talked about it on our show. Like when we were doing predictions, it felt pretty predictable. And, you know, there had to be a swerve, and I guess that was it. Jamie Hayter, you know, apparently being injured.
As opposed to the Strickland swerve, you know, like Also, how about that Jeff Hardy botch on the pre-show?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I'll tell you this, that was tough to get through watching that freaking buy-in match. Jeff Hardy freaking, like, he tweaked his knee at one point, and then he just kept trying to do all these high-risk moves, and he kept stumbling and falling all over the place. And Matt Hardy just looked freaking out, like, out of it, and Hook was, like, really the only drawing point to that whole thing, and it was just like he couldn't even save that. It was just a mess.
Yeah,
it really was.
I was hoping for the Guns and Ethan Page to win. I don't know about you guys. I didn't want Hook to lose, but I was hoping for the Guns and Ethan Page to win that match.
Like
Ethan
Guns.
Page.
I'm a fan of Guns.
Ethan Page still has the tightest tits in the game.
No, he's a beautiful man. He is. I saw him at Warrior Wrestling for the first time. He was teaming with Josh Alexander as the North. I walked in to that gym and I was like, who the fuck is this dude? And he was the Impact Tag Champs at the time I wasn't following. And then, you know, I got invested and I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Dude, I miss Josh Alexander.
I do too.
That's a whole other thing.
I like the North. I think the issue with the pay-per-views is that both companies concentrated so much on one storyline that the rest of the matches kind of felt like thrown together. You know, with WWE, they concentrated so much on the bloodline that, you know, we had, you know, Rhea and Natty thrown together, Bianca and Asuka. They had some storyline going with them, but their concentration was mainly on the bloodline and that whole matchup there. Like AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. I mean, you could say because Seth was filming that they kind of couldn't do much, but it still felt like it was thrown together. And then with tonight, they put so much concentration on the Anarchy in the Arena match with the reunion of the Elite and then Takeshita and Don Callis and stuff like that. And they did a little bit with the Four Pillars as well. But everything else felt like it was like thrown together. I mean, we had a little bit of storyline with the Jade and Taya matchup as well, but everything else kind of like felt thrown together, especially like with the Battle Royale match as well, where we could have had like a really good match, you know, out of it. We didn't need all 21 people in there, you know, in a Battle Royale. We could have simply had a Fatal 4-Way or something like that. Something real good to open up the show with. But, you know, coming in and watching the Battle Royale, especially with Jay White kind of just like being there, you know, it really didn't give us a reason to like care for the Battle Royale, you know.
I mean,
we
Big Bill was tight though, I have to say. You know, Big Bill had a good shot. He
did great in that match. But he could have that could have been a Fatal 4-Way with him in it. It could have been him, Orange.
Dustin Rhodes outlast Jay White is like actually criminal.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now the question is, now they've done so many. They just threw all those people in that battle royal, and Orange Cassidy just beat them. Now, who does Orange Cassidy face now?
So we talked this week. We kind of said like he's going to squeak by in this battle royal. He's been tired. That's been the gimmick. Like his next defense, I think he's going to lose, unless it's some like jobber or someone that shouldn't win. But like, I think the time has come, and I'm glad he won because I didn't want him to lose it like this. Yeah. So maybe it is Swerve ultimately, perhaps, but I think the time is coming. But again, I'll reiterate, I really enjoyed the Battle Royal compared to the rest of the show before the last two matches. And yeah, it's a bottom 4 AEW pay-per-view. But
like lack of consequence and lack of like But like the story that they were building toward this, like there was going to be no movement here. It was going to be like a build up, status quo wins, and then like, and then also like going to the next one. I mean, we're going to have 2 pay-per-views in a week.
Yeah.
You know, so like, you know, I can imagine that's where it would happen.
And don't you all miss the red belt era of the TNT?
I love the red belt era.
Cody. Brody Lee.
Brody Lee and everything. That was fun.
Darby. Yeah.
That's when the TNT championship was really fun. You know, when it really meant something and it wasn't being played as hot potato. Like the Battle Royale felt as though they just wanted to throw as many people as they can on the pay-per-view just to say that they were on the pay-per-view. Yep. And I felt as though we could have gotten a better match for it. Like it was fun and everything with a lot of the matchups that we've seen with the Lucha Bros and everything like that. But I felt as though for it to be the TNT champion, we could have had a legit feud coming into this fight. Because not Darby, because Orange Cassidy really didn't have a I'm sorry, the IC title. Orange Cassidy really didn't have a feud with this. Yeah, Wardlow didn't. Yeah, exactly.
It's just been match after match after match with I'm fine with to an extent, but eventually it's like let's give this man a story.
But also his character doesn't like, you know, like get attached or like, oh, I'm gonna feud with this person. Yeah. It's sort of like disinterest, you know. So to feud with someone you would have to have interest.
Correct.
Yeah. I think what made them fall, I think what really messed them up was the fact that they gave him this undefeated streak and that they constantly gave him squash match after squash match to whereas though it's pretty much like these one-off matches because, you know, I don't know if it's like maybe he got Arn Anderson, but maybe he needs maybe he needs a mouthpiece or something like that, you know, in order to like handle some of these feuds because some of these people can out-talk him, really. So
I think Wardlow needs to go heel again and then rebuild back to where the crowd turns him face again. And like maybe he like I don't know, kicks Arn Anderson or something. He can't powerbomb him and fucking kill him.
Shoots him with the Glock, you know, bam. That's it.
Yeah, right. Right.
Where the fuck is Miro? Yeah. Like, let's get Miro.
I don't want to
give the Redeemer his championship back when it actually meant something.
Exactly.
Can I ask anyone who wants to answer this the question for Orange Cassidy then? You guys just pretty much hit it on the head. Orange Cassidy really never had a feud over this international championship. No. What if he's really only feuded with? He's had the Jericho feud, but his main AEW feud has been with Pac. What if Pac comes back, whoops his ass, and just takes the belt? Is that something
as long as it means something? Like anybody can hold the belt, but like the belt has to mean something. It has to have a proper feud. Like we're going to continue to have like these. It feels like we're with the international title that we're just having like this open challenge. Instead of having like a proper feud for the title holder to actually prove themselves as the champion, you know, because we kind of have it with Wardlow too. And even with Powerhouse Hobbs, they try to did something like I wish Powerhouse Hobbs had a better title reign because once he became champion, it was about QT Marshall and, you know, QT TV. So, and he was really good when he was going against Ricky Starks. I wish he was champion. But once he became champion, it was just like, okay, he had the chase. Now we're going to put him to the side for, you know, the situation for whatever with QT Marshall.
The TNT title used to feel like the Intercontinental felt like back in the 90s.
And now it's wandering in the wilderness.
Now it's bing bong, bing bong, ting
hot potato.
Like, and it's a permanent C story and a mid-card thing.
Yeah, he said that earlier. Like it used to be a B story and now it's a C or D story and just kind of meaningless. But put some respect back on this. Get the red belt respect.
Yes. They want to put it on par with the TBS title, which at least that leg rose to the occasion tonight. Like that was a
thank God.
It was really good. Yeah, it feels like just like the women's tag team belts. It's being used primarily for a story for the WWE. I mean, how WWE treats the women's tag team belts, where it's just like there, or they use it for props in a storyline or something. Like there's no respect on the title. So when someone wins the title, it don't even mean like something like that anymore.
No. Well, and the fun like Darby Allin's like beyond that, you know, like
Yeah.
All right, Tim. Take us somewhere, Tim.
I thought we were chilling, man. We're talking about the championship. Why don't we talk about? I will take you somewhere. Why don't we talk about the TBS championship, right? Let's move to the other side. Let's go to the women. There's plenty of shit to talk about on the women's side of things. We got the TBS championship. We got the AEW women's championship. Let's go to the TBS championship. Jade Cargill defeated Taya Valkyrie, which I thought Taya might have been a chance until this afternoon where Jade was talking shit to Stat on Twitter. I was like,
really?
all right. Yeah.
I didn't even
I
catch
did not
that.
see. Okay, so
Yeah.
I just to butt in. I did not see that or was aware of it, but I've been saying for what felt like a year that Chris needed to take it, and I said it seconds before she even came out, and then she came out, and
Oh, then we crapped our pants when the bell rang because it was like, oh Lord, this is a match.
Yeah.
literally crapped our
Crazy.
pants.
Which was a total surprise because I too had said for a year that Statlander should have been the one to take it off Jade. I was saying on the live stream, Stat will be showing up. I thought it was because what Jade said earlier that your body's made of glass, you know, I'll fucking destroy you, basically, is what she said. And then Stat just shows up. And like you said, you crapped your pants. We crapped our pants. I was like, what? It's a fucking match. I thought maybe Taya would get the win.
How did this match come about? Because, like I said, we didn't hear. Like, did they announce we're having a match?
Didn't seem like it. It was straight up Mania 9 all over again. It's just like ring the bell. Like,
Mark Sterling.
Much better.
Sterling,
You know, JD. You know, Brett loves Hulk Hogan. It's his favorite wrestler of all time.
Mania 9 turned me on Hogan. That was the first time I actually witnessed
JD hates
Mania
Hogan
9.
too, so you guys could be a Hogan, he hater Hogan club, whatever you want to be together.
Hogan, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like late 80s Hogan promos, say your prayers, eat your vitamins is great. WCW Hogan is an atrocity to the wrestling business. Him taking the belt off of Yokozuna at WrestleMania 9 after Bret Hart dropped it, atrocity.
He's a peckerhead.
He's a peckerhead, yeah. And he's got a small pecker because he got outed by Gawker. So Brainbuster Boys Unplugged, baby. On the Tim King After Dark show.
I mean, I've seen Hogan wrestle in person.
Yes, you have. Uncensored 99, the first blood match that took a million bloods.
Was that against Billy Kidman?
No, against Ric Flair.
Ric Flair.
Oh, when it still meant something.
No, it didn't. By 99, it didn't mean shit.
To 9-year-old me, it meant a whole lot.
Yeah.
You know, but like,
even though they bled a million times before the first blood match was called.
Yeah, I remember we brought signs to it too, and we brought one that said Hogan fears Rogaine.
Oh, dude, I know we talked about this, but I had one at a house show in '98 that said Hogan is the president of the hair club for men. So yeah, we've been on the same wavelength long before we knew.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, Justin, just say something. I love you. Tell us something.
Yeah, we're all sitting here chatting it up.
Third make our podcast is Star Trek 5 podcast.
We got to get.
I was surprised as well. Like I didn't expect Stat to come back. I didn't see anything about what TK was talking about Jade talking shit. So I'm going into this fucking completely blind, and I was one that just kept saying, listen, I don't know when Stat's coming back. Nobody knows when Stat's coming back. Why do we keep playing the waiting game? Just pull the freaking trigger on somebody who's absolutely like deserving to, like, do it on Taya, but they didn't do it on Taya. So I was like, okay, so now what are we gonna do here? And then Stat came out, and holy shit, Chris Statlander, man. I love that one.
It is, and like Tony Khan's like not great at juggling this whole roster. I feel like, you know, like it's just sort of, you know.
Boy, it was great to see her, and I know my source in AEW that told me that she was starting to train a couple months ago, and on the comeback trail, but we hadn't heard or seen shit. And again, we were flabbergasted. And again, that's when this show really turned tonight. And man, I feel like before she got hurt again, because like she's had multiple injuries, like She was really coming into her own with that new character,
Yep.
kind of more dominant, badass. So, like, bring it the fuck on.
And also, this is great for Jade Cargill too, because like I think like Jade has like a lot that like she could like do and be, but like before this she was the 16-0 undefeated person, and I'm so badass, and now it's like
needed a change.
Yeah, like I think like Jade's gonna like Jade can grow from this in a very.
How does she respond?
Yeah,
because first off, I feel like she's been stuck on Rampage, which no one watches because why would it anymore?
Yeah, she has been.
It is pig slop, unfortunately. But like every time you'd see her, it's the same bullshit. And it's, there's not really a true feud. You never believe she's going to lose. Like, I didn't think Taya was going to win. She didn't. I've always said Statlander. And I'm glad they swerved us with that. Because, again, going through predictions initially, it's like this show's in need of a swerve. And that was quite exciting.
Not of the Strickland variety.
Correct.
Yeah, that was awesome. Justin, how'd you feel about the Tony Storm win over Jamie Hayter?
I think it sucks, really. I think Jamie didn't the title, and it just sucks that it came down to her having to lose it via injury.
Totally.
I think that's the part that makes it really shitty.
Especially with Wembley looming as well.
What if she wins it back in Wembley?
Yeah.
In front of 6, the chase is better. That's August 27th. It's 3 months.
Sure.
It's a long time.
But it's still, the state of the women's division, which I feel like we've been talking highly about a couple months ago, is now just like, we're just back to Tony Storm to Jamie Hayter, back to Tony Storm, back to Jamie Hayter.
Okay. But we were just talking about Jade not too long ago. So JD, we were talking about Jade needs a refresh in character. Could Jade, I've been saying it from day one, this feud needs Jade. When we're going to 5-on-5 blood and guts, I know, Brett, you're like, keep her the fuck away. I've said it since day one. She needs to be OG all day.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, well, first of all, I love Jade Cargill, so I am very biased towards her. I feel they'll give her all the titles, everything. But I do feel as though she needed something new. I mean, she's a very marketable person, like I said on the watch along. I like any non-wrestler would see her and say, "Who's that?" And that's immediately a great marketing point for AEW. And so I feel as though someone like that, give her the title. I felt as though she didn't really deserve to be on TBS. Nobody watches TBS. Like TBS gets thrown around to different time slots, different days, and stuff like that. It's not like really that important. So I feel as though she should be more on Dynamite. I feel as though don't give her the title just yet. I feels like even though she was TBS champion and on Rampage, she's been on Rampage this whole time. So the audience that simply just watches Dynamite probably don't know her too well, except for the times that they threw her on Dynamite versus the people who watch every single show.
It's been forever since
exactly
she's been on Dynamite, and when she was like, I remember it was it was one live show I was at some.
It was a squash, right? Yeah, it was like a squash.
It was like a promo when they had Lil Bow Wow. Yeah. It was all that Lil Bow Wow bullshit that they did. It's like, what are we doing here?
Well, she cut her teeth on the Shaq and Cody shit,
which was actually good.
Yeah, that was
episode 14.
Yeah, a lot of people forgot about that. So I feel as though you bring her on the Dynamite and rebuild her, put her in an actual feud. Don't stop putting her in these squash matches and stuff like that. I feel as though she's not going to build wrestling wise or even character wise if you just constantly put her on squash matches.
Put her in a feud with Orange Cassidy.
I got an idea.
I'm fine with
let's put her in a feud with Kenny Omega.
We were just saying Orange needs a feud.
Yeah, we saying Orange needs a feud. But yeah, I feel as though
put her in a bigger than Orange Cassidy, so.
Well, no, Orange Cassidy is the greatest thing in AEW. No bullshit. And I do weekly power rankings in AEW. I only keep Max the top because Max has been there weekly and he has built the 4 pillars pro. You know what? No, let's get back away from the women and let's go back to how this fucking match wasn't the fucking main event. They have built this match as the motherfucking main event for how long? For how long?
Exactly.
Months. We're the main event. We're the main event. We're the main event. Justin, how many times did we speak about? How many times I say they're not the main event? It can't be the main event. How are they going to be the main event when the Elite and the BCC are on the show? You're going to put Brian Kenny, Hangman, Mox, the Young Bucks, Claudio, and Wheeler all in one match and call the 4 pillars the main event? They booked it as the main event. I said, you're going to sell pay-per-views? Is that as your main event? They sold the pay-per-view. Is that as the main event? And then they did fucking deliver. That is the main event.
He didn't have confidence.
Well,
Why?
There's no
Tony
confidence.
Khan's have a ding dong, you know.
Fuck.
Tony Khan did more chow than us tonight.
It almost feels like they didn't.
You guys have the same, Justin, my bad, but JJ.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they didn't even believe the story was big and was bigger than the BCC stuff.
Great point.
Yeah.
JD was
Yes.
just saying,
And at the
It
last
just-
second, they're like, all right, we got these guys. They're bigger stars. Let's put them in the main event. But God damn it. And I texted Tim. I'm like, I hope this gives them a chip on their shoulder to fucking save this show because it sorely needed it. And they sure did. So I'm glad ultimately it worked out the way that it did. But like those guys still should have been the main event, I feel, because they would have delivered.
They definitely would have delivered, and it kind of shows that these are your AEW originals. Like, this is your opportunity to say, like, these are our boys, and they are good enough to be main event. Like, if all the ex-AWE people were to leave and we're left with the AEW originals, like, we're still strong, you know? So it's gonna be all right.
Chief, you walked in you just walked in at a time of venting. That was it.
Yeah, it feels like they should have been main event. Like, if they were afraid of, because what we had talked about, if they were afraid of all the chaos that was in the ring, you could have the finish of the Anarchy in the Arena match end up on the ramp or backstage or something like that, and just clean up the mat, and you could still have the 4 pillars in the main event and show everyone, like, all these people who sit there and say, all you do is get these XWE guys, this, that, and the third, and say, like, hey, our originals are just as strong as these people in the Anarchy and the Arena match. Was the Anarchy and Arena match very fun? Yes. But I feel as though those 2 matches were very strong. You could have easily had the 4 pillars as the main event. And I feel as though Tony Khan showed that he didn't have the faith in those originals to be able to really hold up the standard of a main event against the Anarchy in the Arena. And they could have, exactly. It was a great match. They really showed a lot of great and unique offense moves that they did and everything like that. All 4 men was great. And like, it was built as a main event. And it was some things that they did during the build for this match that was like a bit weird, like with Jungle Boy going against Roosh, and Roosh like completely dominating him. You put Darby Allin in a tag team match with Orange Cassidy. It was a great match.
But it's like, build this shit.
Exactly. If you had told me that Jack Perry was going to be in the title match, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought that Roosh was that.
Hell, even the swerve, even the whole thing about, we're not going to possibly have a fatal 4-way by having Sammy win this mini tournament to make it a 1-on-1 and then just be like, we're just going to give you a fatal 4-way anyway. Like, what was the point of that?
Yo, Justin, let me ask you then. And it just kind of hit my head right now. What if this match we all said we needed something to fucking really pop this show? The show sucked to start. What if this match opened the show? And not the title match. Anarchy in the Arena opened the show. You got the crowd hot. You got us hot. And then the Pillars match ended the show. That's probably what they should have done.
That would have worked.
And it would maybe, but the rest of the card, the card would have dipped down, because like we all said, once for you guys, it was the last 2 matches. With me and Tim, we were saying that towards the end of the tag team match and on was pretty good. So it's like you would have had like a great opening and a great finish, and then we would have said like the rest of the card like would have dipped a bit. So
but I kind of get what Tim's saying. Like, maybe that would have given the performers a little more juice.
Sure. That's true.
the crowd is that hot from the opening match, and like
Mhm.
you go out and like, how do we follow that?
Yeah. Yeah,
what would you
that's
all
true.
take? Last year's very bloated Double or Nothing, or this year?
That's a great question.
Mm.
Last year's Double or Nothing
It
was
was like very long and bloated.
like
and this
14
year-
matches on the main roster, something like
What
that.
was the main event of that again?
Oh,
Punk
and
and,
your
Looking it up
fucking
now.
boy beating my fucking boy.
That's what I thought. Punk over Mox, right?
Suck
Or
off.
Punk over Hangman, right? That's
Yeah,
when Punk won the belts over Hangman,
yeah, it is, Dick.
and then he hurt himself like a
And
fucking
then he
idiot,
ruined the
jumping
Yeah,
in
and
the
he
crowd.
hurt
company
himself
for a little bit.
afterwards.
Yeah,
Idiot. Yeah.
What a
Ah, he was
Double-
fragile as fuck. Yeah.
Where's
Yeah.
my phone? I wouldn't mind.
Oh, that was the
pulling up-
Owen Hart one too. That was when
Yeah.
you had Britt and Adam Cole win the Owen Hart
Which-
tournament.
And it was brought back this time.
with
you
the
know?
opening
Yeah.
ceremonies, then no one fucking remembers that last year. Like,
Bro,
yes,
can I just be freaking honest here? That
Please.
whole opening ceremony thing was fucking awkward.
Weird.
It felt so
It
weird
was.
watching, listening to Martha talk and trying to like
Tony
get
Khan
the
coming
crowd
out
to
and
chant for
Yeah,
Owen
it's
Hart,
like
and
a
I'm
Park
like,
Ranger hat on, you know, like yeah.
two
It's silly.
nostrils full of coke. Yeah,
He's such a fan. Like it amazes me that he is affiliated with a whole football team. The way that he is. Like, sir, like you act like you're
now
new to management.
cowboy hat, and I'm like, what is this?
I think
Him,
both.
him trying to get that hug from her for like
Oh my
30
gosh.
seconds was so
He was
awkward.
grinning cheek to fucking cheek
I was
hugging
like,
her.
this is
I
gonna be
was
a,
like,
this
that
is
is
gonna be a gift, man.
weird.
Bo
like,
Of
posed a
course.
great question. This year's Double or Nothing versus last year's. Like, I think they are arguably the two worst non-COVID pay-per-views AEW has done.
What else?
Yes.
What other than Punk and Hangman was on there? Was
So
it?
the
So it was the
opener,
Owen
which,
Hart. Yeah.
the
Go ahead.
opener, which I hated, was Wardlow squashing MJF.
Mhm.
There it was. That
With-
Wardlow was never hotter. That's he's been
Exactly.
killed.
But he
He's.
still shouldn't have squashed him.
I understood. Yeah. I
The
don't-
Hardys versus the Young Bucks, meh. Jade versus Anna Jay. House of Black versus Death Triangle, that was good.
That was
Cole
good,
versus
yeah.
Samoa Joe. Britt versus Ruby. Men of the Year and Paige Van Sant. Where'd she go other than just doing OnlyFans shit with Mandy Rose?
Yep.
Versus
That's
Frankie
where she went.
Kazarian, Sammy, and Ty Conti. This is terrible.
So weird.
Kyle O'Reilly
Very
versus
weird.
Darby was a good 9-minute match. Thunder Rosa, Serena Deeb. JS versus Blackpool Combat Club or Anarchy in the Arena. Obviously great. And then Jurassic Express, Swerve in Our Glory, CM Punk, Hangman.
I feel like that was a better show, obviously, for reasons, for
I've
me,
obviously got some
personally.
reverse bias here about CM
Right.
Punk, but I think ending the show tonight on such a high note will make me remember it a little more fondly, but I will never forget about having casuals here and being like, damn, this should be way better. But we still had a great time. Like it was a very fine show and still better than your average WWE pay-per-view of most years, not the last year and a half. Now here's a question: what's the better show, Double or Nothing or Night of Champions? Because to me, they both were like pretty underwhelming with very strong endings, minus Brock and Cody, because I thought that was absolute dog shit. But I'll probably take. I'm gonna take Double or Nothing more, but
I feel like I personally enjoyed more on Double or Nothing
yeah.
than I did Night of Champions. Like Night of Champions just had the Roman stuff, and that's the stuff that did it for me. Like other than that, you had like Rollins win the world title, easily predictable. And again, you're gonna have to do a lot for that world title to even get people to
It
stop.
felt like it meant nothing.
At this point, like. Cody and Brock was absolute fucking disaster. I'm over that shit. I'm over that. I'm still aggravated with that whole
Thank
thing.
you. 1 star. I texted Tim. I'm like, this is negative star shit right here.
I was like, really? Because I enjoyed it. That's why I was like, really?
Like Becky and Trish, I thought their match was solid for a feud that's been pretty freaking lackluster. They had a pretty dang solid match.
Yeah.
The Zoe Stark thing, I'm confused with. I don't know how I feel about that yet.
I'm not.
I don't know how I feel about that, dude. I'm confused on that whole thing because all I'm feeling with that whole thing is just we put Zoe with Trish because Zoe can't get reactions. So here's a way to get her a reaction. Like,
I'm waiting for them to explain that one on Raw.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
but
I'm going double or nothing over Night of Champions because I feel like I said, I enjoyed more like Stat coming back, the Pillars Fatal 4-Way, Anarchy in the Arena, the craziness that was the freaking Battle Royal, the ending bit of the tag title match. Like, I feel like I enjoyed more on Double or Nothing than I did Night of Champions.
I was very disappointed. I was disappointed by both, honestly. And I've been very hot. Like, I'm someone who was kind of anti WWE for a few years there, and I'm like fully back on board. And I think they've been great this year. But this one for me, like, just didn't really click. You know, like I said, Seth and AJ. I compare it to the Best of the Super Juniors final today. I know it's a weird comparison, but it's like, you've got stakes. You've got a prize at hand. This should be a big fucking deal. And
who won that, Titan or Watto?
Master Watto.
As he should have. I assumed and he should have. Good.
Crazy final, which makes it even better. You know, everyone, myself included, thought and wanted El Desperado versus Mike Bailey, and they swerved us, and we went Titan, Master Watto. But, like, the crowd and the performers, like, it felt like the biggest deal ever, and it was electric. And, like, I know WWE, New Japan, they're very different, and I certainly prefer New Japan, but I've just felt with this new title, you've got Seth and AJ, two guys we know who can fucking work, and they did, and it was a fine match, but it just didn't really get to anywhere near a point where it felt like very important. You know, like for the inaugural championship. Just didn't get there for me, but do yourselves a favor and watch the Best of the Super Juniors final from this morning because oh my, it's two guys that like are like mid-carders that went out and the crowd was going nuts and they fucking lived up to that standard. But yeah, I'll go Double or Nothing as well, but like barely. Like, again, I had a good time watching both shows, but I expected a little more. Both had some good shit. Neither had like anything that was really abominable by any means. Fucking Micah and Derek were saying that the Adam Cole Jericho match is like one of the worst in AEW history. Like, I don't believe that. I thought it was fine, you know, but yeah, I'll go Double or Nothing by a nose, but JD, Tim, what do you guys think?
JD, what you got?
So the thing is, when it comes to WWE, I have low expectations. With AEW, I have high expectations because I've seen what AEW can do. I was slightly disappointed with the pay-per-view tonight because what we had, it was all, you know, with All Out and other pay-per-views. You only have pay-per-views 4 times a year, you know? So you have a lot more time between the pay-per-views to really
until later this summer when there'll be a
why did my mute come off?
Exactly. But yeah, like you have more time to really build up the pay-per-view and you have more time to really build up them dream matches. Like you have access to a lot of people in other different companies and you have access to be able to create all these dream matches and stuff like that. So I have high expectations for AEW because they show me that they could really put on some very good pay-per-view matches, you know? And it's like from bell to bell. I remember like I had told Tim it was an All Out where from bell to bell, like all matches were great. They had like a match of like Paul White versus QT Marshall, which I was even fine with. And I was even fine with that because that was a cool down.
It's the Beaumont Rand Classic.
Yes. Like that was even fine because it was like a cool off match, you know? It was like, okay, that's fine. We needed that match to like get to the main event, you know? So I was fine with that. But I have high expectations for AEW because I'm like, you guys can show, like, you can put on really good matches and everything like that. So
And
for us, like, for
that
like
match was like the in between of like Darby and CM Punk and like Kenny and Christian, which again,
Yes.
not the greatest main event, but solid, but like
Popcorn.
the ultimate piss break match. But it's become a running gag on our show with us, especially.
Well, it's also cemented Tony Khan's status as a peckerhead.
But yeah, like I always refer to that pay-per-view because
Big
I was
time.
like, they legit put that on there just to like cool off, go do what you need to do before we come to this match that you all been waiting for. So I have high expectations for AEW because they can do that. Like you could put on very good pay-per-views to where as though we're popping and things like that. And then watching tonight, like it really felt like some matches really felt like WWE. Like they were very slow. There wasn't like any excitement. It felt like the match was done. Just like these matches, some of these matches felt like it was there just to be done. Like, let's get through the motions, let's get through this match so we can continue on. Like the Jericho versus versus Adam Cole, like I didn't feel the intensity. Like the way that they built up this match should have been intense. Like exactly, even with Sabu in it, who was only in there from the beginning. Like this was pretty much the equivalent to the person who got killed off in a.
You guys all remember? I put in the chat the two things immediately right off the bat that I did not like about that match was the fact that the focus wasn't even on Jericho or Adam Cole in the beginning.
Yeah.
And Sabu was just a waste to even be there because he literally was just there and then left.
He fell from a top rope and then that was that. He did throw chairs at people, you know, but I didn't get the connection to it.
JD,
and then they had one of the most tame unsanctioned matches I've ever seen.
It was.
I feel like 3/4 of the AEW pay-per-views that have happened are like some of the 25 best pay-per-views ever. You know, like they're that good. So the bar is that high. We don't set the bar, we are the bar. But
we are.
Tonight was so far from that bar, and it did, like Bo mentioned earlier, reminded me of Double or Nothing from last year, where that one was super bloated and just long and kind of meaningless. And we know AEW can always deliver great matches, and that's why I love it. Sorry, Bo.
Their stories seem to culminate at Full Gear more than Double or Nothing, but they do treat God. Look. But their stories do seem to culminate more at Double or Nothing.
What a view.
Or at Full Gear a lot more than Double or Nothing, even though Double or Nothing is promoted as their big, like, you know, you talked about how that's their like WrestleMania, you know.
Yeah.
It's their first one.
I agree.
It's their first
Full Gear, if you look at all the Full Gears, they're all like the best pay-per-views. And
that's where the stories culminate.
Yeah, you're right. And the last two Double or Nothings have been poopy. But 2021, which was like the first kind of come out of COVID, was awesome.
It was.
But yeah, Full Gears is the best AEW pay-per-view.
1,000%.
Yeah. And so to answer the question, like, so I have low expectation for WWE because they have shown us time and time again that they just throw crap on there. So I was pleasantly surprised with what we saw with Night of Champions yesterday. I was happy that Asuka won. Rhea Ripley dominated the match, which she should have anyway. Like it would have made zero sense for Natty to get like actual offense in there going.
That should have been Brock and Cody, though, in my opinion.
I haven't seen it.
That should have been the squash.
It should have been, but of course, you know, Cody had to be Cody. So
yeah,
I have my issues with that.
No, I get the whole thing.
Yeah,
I get it. Like I have issues with Cody since AEW. So things that he does ticks me off. So
I was all on the Cody train until last night, and now I'm very.
I was on the Cody train in AEW. I was on the Cody train in AEW. I jumped off the Cody train in AEW. I jumped back on. I didn't jump immediately back on the Cody train when he got to WWE again, and then I jumped back on the Cody train when he got to this point, and now I'm jumping back off because I'm so just over it.
Cody.
Well, I think with like the whole pull myself up by my bootstraps, like earning it, like clashes with the nepotism part of it. You know, I think that's like the elephant in the room here. You know, like, and I think. Yeah, you're really gonna have to like go all out to like tell that story.
Last night to me, again, even in a loss, felt way too much like 2008 to 2012 Super Cena shit.
Yes.
And I think that's what they're trying for, though. Like, that's what they're trying for.
But why?
They literally, when Brock came back,
don't have
when
it.
Brock came back and beat that ass.
Why?
I was in the crowd for that at 2013 Extreme Rules, all right?
Yeah, that was
when Brock came back and beat Cena's ass the way he did, doing the same thing to Cody. Cena put Cody over. He gave him the rub. He's trying to make Cody super.
So I'm talking pre that with John Cena, like 2008 to 12, when like he would just win every time, no matter.
He beat Brock that match. He beat Brock that match. He lost at SummerSlam, but he beat Brock at Extreme Rules. Brock beat that ass. 22 Germans, bloody fucking Cena, still won the match. John Cena. So
last night, again, I had worked all week, closed, late nights, was ready to just sink into some fucking wrestling. And I'm like, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to watch Night of Champions. I'm ready. WWE's been awesome. It was like mid. And I get to that match, and it's like, all right, this. And after the squash, which I'm like, all right, I guess this isn't going to be a squash, but like, let's not get Super Cody here. And Super Cody realized that once he could use his cast as a weapon, his arm stopped hurting.
Yeah,
and
miracle.
Finisher, pass out from a Kimura. Tap out, Cody. Like, you don't need to be that protected. Your arm's broken. Who passes out from
it almost felt like they were trying to recreate the whole torn pec thing.
They are.
Yes.
WWE loves to recreate things.
That to me was the thing that just annoys the shit out of me, because I still come off as, every time I see it, I go, everybody's on this Cody needs adversity stuff.
This is the wrong adversity.
Yeah, I don't even think he needed the adversity. He already had his adversity beforehand. And basically, when you look at it this way, Roman's on God mode, as they say. If he's on God mode, you want somebody that's absolutely untouchable as well to be in there with him as well. You don't want somebody that's been like, well, I had to struggle going through this. I got struggle going through this. You need somebody that's literally going to be like, I got through here and I'm on your ass and I'm coming for you. Not somebody who's been like, well, I couldn't get by that guy. I couldn't get by that guy. Like, it's a complete different. It feels completely different now with Roman. Like, everybody's saying, like, if back then it's like you want adversity, cool. But right now, when you got Roman on a level that nobody can freaking touch him, when you get somebody on that level, you got to keep them there. You can't give them some kind of like roadblock where it's going to be like, it's going to bring them down again.
So you think Cody should have won? I mean, I guess most do, but.
No, I don't think he should have won. This is the thing with the reason why they're booking Cody like this is because they don't have a replacement Cena, and they feel as though they have it now with Cody. The way that people pop for him, especially with the torn pec and everything like that, they want to keep it going. Like, we've seen it with Cena that he just continues to.
Why do you have to do it the same way as Cena? Like, I feel like Cody came in.
That's what they do. WWE recreates. They still do the Montreal screw drop. That's all that they know. They don't know how to do a lot of original stuff. Like the Bloodline storyline was pretty much like one of the most original things they came up with for a while. They usually redo things over and over again. And unfortunately, it's because they have the casual crowd that they'll cheer for. They know, okay, we cheer for the baby face, we boo the heel. Like, and they go to different cities. It's usually the kids with the parents who don't really pay attention to shit. And so it's people like us who like knows what's going on. And we like, yo, we're tired of this. And sometimes it don't work because as we see, they go to a different city. Cody gets cheered. Everybody does the whoa when he does his entrance and stuff like that. He comes out and does the fucking, so what do you guys want to talk about? That crowd pops for it. They go to another city. That crowd pops for it. So they're able to get away with redoing the same thing over and over again because they constantly are put in front of a different audience who didn't experience it from last week, who are so happy.
And JD, if I could add to that.
Yeah.
And again, I get Brett, why do they need to recycle it? We all here have faced the fuck Cody, let's go Cody. We have to understand that this crowd is going to turn on Cody at some point, but it's not going to be the whole crowd that turns on Cody. And WWE might not want to turn Cody heel. They might want to have that let's go Cody. Cody sucks. And we know the Cody sucks is coming. So
for sure,
maybe they don't want to.
It's already basically kind of started because look at all the times Brock beat him up and they were chanting
imagine
one more time,
until it goes
one
to
more
WrestleMania
time.
40. Right.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to 40. By the time we get to 40, we're going to be 65-35. Let's go, Cody. Cody sucks. Whereas at this WrestleMania, we had 97-3. Let's go, Cody.
Wait, aren't we talking about AEW though?
No, we're just talking about Eddie.
No.
I'm being.
Oh, we were making the
I know.
comparisons to
But JD,
AEW.
I want to get your answer really quick because I want to answer. So overall, what was the better show? Double or Nothing or Night of Champions?
That's how it came up.
If we're talking overall, because I was going to go through match to match with Night of Champions, that's how we kind of got on this. If we're talking overall from start to finish, I would say Night of Champions. If they fixed, if AEW had fixed a couple of things that happened with the show, like the finish to the Jericho and Adam Cole, like I might be a little forgiving because it felt like Jericho was actually injured, so they had to call audible to that. But if they just fixed a couple of the ways that things went down for some of these matches, the intensity that we know that is there, it could easily have went to Double or Nothing. But I would say overall, I would say Night of Champions.
Tim, you're the only one.
So I understand all of your points, and I definitely get where Justin and Brett are coming from with Double or Nothing. And JD, your point specifically of what you expect more from AEW. I expect more from AEW. I expected this show to be great from start to finish. My overall score at the end of the night for our watch along was an 8.25 for the show. So a B minus basically. Going off of, and I look at big moments of the show. Takeshita Jordan BCC was fucking huge. Statlander coming back winning that belt was huge. Tony Storm winning that belt was huge. I don't see very many other huge moments on this show. I look over at the other show, Night of Champions. When I left that show, that's why, Brett, when you were sending me these messages last night, I was like, wow, this is perplexing because I was sitting here like my man, my tribal chief, let's put it up. And I was like, Night of Champions was fucking amazing, dude. Like I had it as an 11 out of 10 when I left to watch along. I always call it, yeah, and I'll rip it right quick. And first of all, when I'm gonna watch along with my boys, I was with the tribal chief and Dirt Sheet Dan. Had a great time watching it.
The boys tonight and wasn't for Night of Champions, so yeah, that certainly plays into it.
No, tonight I was with JD and Dom. It was a very, very fun night as well. It was just the show. I graded throughout the show. It just kind of happened to be how it went. It was a 7.25 that got graded up to an 8.25 because I was chilling with friends. I digress. I called this shit like a 10 out of 10 yesterday, and I'm gonna rip quickly why. First match, Seth and AJ, it kind of felt like a New Japan match. It started slow and it built up as it went. I get it. You had no expectations in your head that AJ Styles was going to win that match, but that shouldn't demean the fact that the match was actually good. Go back. I said from the start, they're going to give this till 12:35. They're going to give it 20-something minutes. They gave it 22 minutes. Exactly. Very good. Back and forth match. AJ got his moments in. Seth sold like crazy calf crushers. Like back and forth, inside the ring, outside the ring, submissions. It was a slow, methodical to a fast-paced, slow, methodical. Saudi crowd was into it. They were booing Seth, cheering Seth, booing AJ, cheering AJ. I loved it.
That was good.
Then Trish and Becky, you're two of the top 5 women of all time. And sure, Trish ain't hitting all her spots, but she doesn't need to hit all of her spots.
The highlight was Becky's Kill Bill outfit,
which was awesome. They both looked fantastic.
My favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, they both look great. The match itself was fine. And the Zoe Stark moment at the end of it, I'm a huge Zoe Stark fan. Going all the way back to when she debuted in NXT, I was like, who the fuck is this? She is a fucking beast. And with the right booking and the right backing behind her, she could beat it. Give her the fucking rub with Trish. Okay, that's a nice start. Love that. The Gunther and Ali match.
I wouldn't mind a little rub with Trish. You heard?
Everybody
I
wouldn't.
don't think any of us would, honestly. Shit.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
lying.
no
We're
one
all
in this
lying.
conversation would. Yeah, for sure.
These are
The
right.
eyes
We're
are
all
all
lying.
adults. But the Gunther and Ali match, all right, that was the worst match on the show because Rhea and Natalia did what it did. The squash was good. If the Gunther and Ali match was the worst match on the show, then I'm with it. That was a very, very solid match. And
8.5 minutes, dude. That's for 8.5 minutes. That was fucking dope.
Thank you. So that match was solid.
Yeah,
And
like,
then we had
Ali was gonna do it.
And then we had Cody and Brock, which I get why you don't like Cody and Brock. I do agree. Brock should have won in the squash. I said it. I said the same thing. Brock should kill him. Cody coming out though and being the one on the offense the whole time. I was a big Lex Luger fan. He had the fucking key in his forearm or in his elbow. Okay?
Oh my
So
gosh.
he always used it. So Cody using the loaded cast reminded me of something Dusty would book, and I'm like, I'm with it. All right. So yes, he's like, I could use it, and then I used it too much and it hurt. The passing out wasn't from the arm, it was just from the overall beating of the pain that he took. So again, I'm with it. We'll go to SummerSlam and Cody will beat Brock and continue on his way because he's going to wrestle in Money in the Bank, not get it. Brock will come, whoop his ass, cost him from getting the Money in the Bank. We'll have that match, the finale of it at SummerSlam. Yo, Bianca and Asuka was fantastic. The storytelling inside that match, the mist in the hand, over the eyes. Are you fist fucking me? Perfect storytelling.
Ending was great.
In the main event was fucking chef's kiss of fucking storytelling. All right, the best storytelling since the NWO and the Attitude Era. Best storytelling since the fucking Monday Night Wars is the Bloodline, and we got to witness that dead on yesterday. So at the end of the day, it is Night of Champions. That was the amazing show that won the weekend for me.
And they were both
so my issue too.
Shit.
And that's fair, brother. I'll raise my glass of wine, I guess, too.
the best of the Super Juniors final.
Well, yeah. Well, did my birthday beat all three of them?
And Bo's birthday on Thursday.
Happy early birthday, Bo.
Late
birthday, baby.
Oh, well, happy late birthday, Bo.
Late birthday.
Happy late birthday.
Yeah,
my question is, with Cody, wouldn't that have been a disqualification of him using the cast?
That's what I'm saying.
They said, I thought it was too, but they kept saying, like, because it's on his body, it's not an illegal weapon.
I think it was a disqualification for Cowboy Bob Orton back in the day.
Yeah.
So, two little things that kind of aggravated me in the Seth AJ match, which had nothing to do with them. It was all the ref. One, did any of you catch there was a moment where AJ went for a pin and Seth's shoulder was off the mat and
he
the
pushed
ref
it down.
Literally pushed his arm down.
Yeah, that was when he hit the face buster and his arm was on his foot and he was
I have never seen anything like that, and that made me aggravated and kind of like oh my god, what the fuck? Like, just don't make the count, guy. And then there was the moment where he was counting AJ. It was like a 6 count, and he gets on the apron, and he's about to do the phenomenal forearm, and Seth knocks him out. But it was like a very pronounced count, and then it's like it just stopped. And I'm not someone at all who typically cares about refs and kayfabe, and like I'm a match guy, and I kind of let that shit blow by more often than not. But after the motherfucker pushed Seth's shoulder to the ground to make a count, and then that count out thing happened, like, that was fucked. But oh my god, I just wanted to make sure someone saw that.
That was so obvious. It was right in front of the camera. He just planned that shit down, dude.
That was fucked up.
I think I'm basically putting the shows in the same letter grade. I gave I gave Double or Nothing a C+ because to me the main event and the Pillars Fatal 4-Way were incredibly strong, which brought it up so much. And then there was just bits and pieces here and there that I was like, I kind of like that, I like that, I like this here, and that's why I just kind of left it at C+. And I kind of feel like I put Night of Champions in a C, like C area, because it's just like, again, AJ and Seth was fucking great as a match. But again, I have my thing with the world title where, again, it still feels like a secondary prize. It feels like a consolation prize. It feels like a distraction right now to just be like, hey, focus on the world title while we do nothing with Roman. Like, there's one thing right there. Like, again, Becky and Trish, I haven't been into the feud the whole time. But now they gave me a solid match in the end. And I'm like, all right, well, you gave me something out of it. Asuka and Bianca match was fucking great. I still think their WrestleMania match was better than this one, but this one was still really damn good. It's just, again, there's more stuff with that whole situation. Cool. We took the Raw Women's title off of Bianca, who's a SmackDown woman, but we put it on another SmackDown woman, and we still haven't come up with any explanation as to what we're doing with the women's titles right now.
Awful, bro. Awful.
Yeah.
Cody and Brock is officially, like I said, turned me off. And then the main event was just unbelievable. Because, again, every time I feel like I'm out on the Bloodline stuff, they pull me back in with something every time.
Yeah.
So I basically put it in a C as well.
Justin, did you watch Best of the Super Juniors?
No, I did not. But I saw Wato 1, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Hiromu and Wato should be fucking dope.
Yo, can I just skip this Best of the Super Juniors talk? Because I know the casual might not care, although we do. Can we talk about something big in fucking Japan? How about fucking Claudio? Claudio coming to Dominion to wrestle in the fucking 6-man fucking never open weight trio champions. Fucking how sick is that, dude?
Very.
I need to check that out.
And Suter versus Okada, Tana, and Ishii. Let's
get your adult diapers ready for that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you might not care about New Japan. That's something that you might want to turn your fucking socket to.
At this point, just free ball it and shit all over the floor. Just fucking go for it.
And the Dominion card I talked about it on my other show, the Phoenix Splash podcast. The Dominion card needed a little juice because, the main event is Sonata versus Yota Tsuji, which for a diehard New Japan fan like me is exhilarating and amazing. But this is New Japan's second biggest show of the year. This is like SummerSlam, Royal Rumble. That is as far from a marquee main event as you can get because Yota Tsuji just coming back from excursion, looking like a fucking killer, taking out all of the 5 guys. And I can't wait for the fucking match, but the card needed some star power. It needed some juice. And, of course, Danielson was the dream. And I assumed it would have been Wheeler Yuta, but to get Claudio over there, and he's never been in New Japan, making his New Japan debut is fucking tight.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, the main event was Bakley was marking out, and I'm like, what the fuck are you marking out about, dude? I was like, I don't give a fuck, dude. I know, I
do big time.
No, I know, I get it. I'm more of I'm a casual, so you're a regular, and Bakley is more closer to your end than my end, so he's marking out. I'm like, bro, I don't give a shit.
Sonata beating Okada was pretty equivalent to Roman beating Cody in terms of
that was huge. Well, I give big fucks about that. Sonata's been my guy for fucking 5 years, but the Yota Tsuji thing, I gave 0 fucks about. I'm like,
you're about to.
All right, because Bakley was making it seem like it was a big deal after the main event of Sonata versus Hiromu, which is fantastic. Sonata beating Okada was also fantastic.
And very big deal because
Finley was fantastic.
This is the hardest a returning young lion has ever been pushed. Straight to the main event of the second biggest show of the year. Yes, Okada, when he came back from a young lion, beat Yoshihashi in an underwhelming Wrestle Kingdom 6 match, and then challenged Tanahashi at the end of the night and shock beat him the next week or the next month. But to just be thrusted into the main event of the second biggest show of the year in your first match is insane.
Brett, would you mind checking and making sure my car is like in the right spot?
It looks fucking awesome right now.
Yo, Justin, he does like his whole fucking. He looks like a fucking. I don't mean like the stereotype, but he looks like a fucking crazy ass ninja badass motherfucker, dude. Is what he looks
And
like.
he's with LIJ now, which, bro, fucking let's
Wait, what?
go. Suji's with LIJ now.
Whoa! When did that happen?
He did the whole thing and everything, and I'm like, whoa, he's aligned with LIJ. That's even fucking better.
When did that happen?
That was the same night he attacked Sonata and everybody.
Oh, well, I didn't correlate that. I watched the attack. I didn't correlate the LIJ reference. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Oh, well, I'll
was
have
like,
to ask.
that's
We'll have to
fucking
ask we'll have to ask Mr. New Japan when he gets back here. Yo,
Yeah,
I didn't see this. That night he put the LIJ symbol up.
oh yeah, it was not subtle. Like so after he
Oh.
went
straight
out,
up fucking.
yeah, he.
And I was
I mean,
like,
he may
let's
not
go.
have gone like all the way up like that, but he definitely and like that.
Well, that makes it a lot
Yes,
more fucking
dude.
important than.
Oh, when he did that, because obviously Sonata left LIJ
Well,
to join
yes.
to form just five guys.
Basically
Burgers and
lead.
fries.
Such a
You know, that
weird
left a
match,
hole in
man.
LIJ for sure. And Yota Tsuji, Young Lion, when he was in New Japan, was nothing. You know, he had a match with Ishii at the Royal Quest show last year in England because he was doing his excursion in Rev Pro. Match was fantastic. Like, different look from Yota Tsuji because as a Young Lion, you just wear the black trunks. You don't have a character. You are just creator wrestler A. And it's like, holy shit, this guy.
I remember this debut, and everyone made a huge deal out of it.
Pardon?
As I remember this, everyone made a huge deal out of this
Yeah,
shit.
because it's like,
All
whoa,
the young
you
lions are
the
fucking
suit.
killing it.
What's that, Justin?
I said all the young lions are fucking killing it. Fucking Coglin's killing it, and freaking Ren Narita's with fucking Suzuki. Like, that's fucking awesome.
New Japan had a big, I mean, it was by far the best promotion in the world for a long time. And then they took the COVID break and then struggled because of the clap crowds, the booking. You put the title on Evil, many, many other things. But man, it's been back.
Uemura's an Impact. Like, that's fucking awesome.
It's been back. And again, the Teton Master Wato final is just a testament to like, whoa, like, this is not box office. And the commentary even said it. It's like, this is not box office. But the crowd was going bonkers. And again, those Japanese crowds have just been longing, yearning to cheer, to care, to be able to make noise. And, JD, Tim, watch a little New Japan one time. JD, I don't know if you watch it. And I know
yeah, I'm a casual to it. Like I try to catch it when I can. Because New Japan put me on to like Bullet Club and stuff like that. And when I heard that Shinsuke was when they announced that Shinsuke was coming to NXT, I checked out a little bit of Shinsuke over in New Japan, and I watched a little bit of AJ Styles when they announced when the rumors were coming. And I try to catch them. I try to catch AAA as well because I catch Triple Mania every now and again. But yeah, I try to keep up with like New Japan because New Japan's awesome.
Well, I got a whole treasure trove of recommendations.
Okay.
Interested.
Brett, how about a little stardom in there with fucking Tom Nakano being the double champion right there? Let's fucking go.
Well, firstly, I haven't seen the show yet, but I had heard that happened, so you didn't spoil shit. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'm excited to see it. I'm just still very it got as a fan, like, you know, now I'm just so into this shit, but like the fandom will take over sometimes, and like I'm still salty as shit about Julia losing the title.
I'm with you.
Nakano. I don't think it should have happened, and I'm now even saltier that Mina Shirakawa, who just overcame a lot to get the white belt, just dropped it to Tam Nakano, and it's like I like Tam Nakano a lot. But you're really coronating her as like the Queen of Stardom, the first double champ. when there's 4 other women that could have been there, but I haven't seen it.
The fact that Mina beat Saya, which is holy shit, dude. I fucking love her.
One of 2 matches that made me cry this year. The other one was Aussie Open beating Bishamon for the tag titles after Fletcher split his head open. Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna check it out.
Because
I heard great things of NXT.
Better soon.
Mark Davis.
Yeah,
he's a beautiful man.
Sit on my face.
I saw he was injured, and all I kept thinking of is TK is going to be sad, man.
I texted him as soon as I heard. I'm like, oh no, the dump truck is out. But
then he signed with AEW, and I'm like,
I didn't even like that either. Like they were doing so well in New Japan.
But if it means that like we have an AEW since having this trios division, the tag team division has been watered down significantly, because they can't figure out how to have an even base between the trios and the tag division. So it's like we got all these fucking killer teams, but yet the Lucha Bros are in ROH. Kill me. In ROH, we have the Lucha Bros are like, why can't we just have FTR versus the Lucha Bros for the tag team titles? How much doper is that than whatever the bullshit we got tonight? You know, we have all these we acclaimed. While we enjoyed the match tonight, they're in a trios match with Daddy Ass. The Guns, you don't like them, but they're teaming with Ethan Page. The Hardys, for fuck's sake. Even the Hardys. Even how much I've bitched, and Justin knows, I've bitched about the Hardys over the last couple of years. But FTR versus the Hardys makes far more sense in a just regular straight up tag team match than FTR versus Double J and fucking Jay Lethal. Like, you got all these tag teams under this roof, not to mention the Young Bucks, and you're not doing anything with them. It's fucking absurd to me. It's just, it blows my mind. So that's what I'm hoping. FTR, Aussie Open, all in, dump trucks back, big match, tag titles, let's go. I don't necessarily want FTR to lose those belts, but I think maybe they have to. But
well, the thing is with AEW, sometimes they put so many people in factions and stuff like that. Things kind of get like a bit muddled. Like it's kind of the situation I had with Sammy Guevara, because they're trying to make Sammy Guevara face, but we literally just saw him teaming up with MJF, and then not too long before that, he's been with JAS, and we haven't really seen an actual breakup between them. And so with AEW, and I always say it's just like fucking High School Musical with all these factions and tag teams. We don't have a lot of actual singles wrestlers in AEW, because everyone is either in a tag team and a faction, or they have a manager. So it's kind of hard to book these people as singles run, because once they break away from their faction, they try to have the singles run. It don't work out because they've been booked and protected by all these different personalities and stuff like that. Like Jake Hager, with him and JAS, the moment that he breaks away and he has this singles run, it's like, will it work out?
Man.
He likes the hat.
I fucking love this hat.
He likes the hat. But yeah, it's just they don't book a lot of good singles runs like they should. But tag teams and trios and factions and 5-on-5, Blood and Guts, Anarchy in the Arena, Stadium Stampede, all these, all these group fights, it works out perfectly.
I agree. And someone pointed out to me earlier today, and I didn't even realize it, that there was only one match on the card tonight that was a singles match without a stipulation. And it was Jade and Taya.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Even that came along with Chris Statlander.
Yeah.
With the...
And there was the one match I didn't care about at all coming in, which ultimately provided a great moment. But it's like, holy shit, you're right. Like, no straight up just fucking singles matches, which is ultimately like what we want.
It's just like SmackDown versus Raw 2006 video game where you play GM mode or something. You just throw everybody in these matches and you just add all the stipulations to the pay-per-view that you're trying to book to get the crowd going. Yeah. Damn. But I'm going to go. It is I'm on the East Coast, so it's like 1:46 over here, and I am dead tired.
Yo, well,
Yeah, it
JD, thank you for joining the show. Let the
No
people know where they can
problem.
find you.
So you can find me on Twitter at JDC137. You can find my podcast, WrestleBread, at WrestleBread as well. You can click the links on the bio for the Instagram, the Facebook, and the TikTok as well. I'll be live technically tonight on Monday for late night gaming with JD. I'll be on at 11:15. So after you check out Raw, if you do watch Raw, you can come on to the Bloodline Network Twitch channel. I'll be playing Detroit Become Human for the first time. So you can come in, chill out, ask questions. I talk wrestling, football, gaming, all types of stuff. We go in there, have a good time. And I'll also be streaming on Tuesdays. I'll be playing more of Jedi Survivor as well at 11 o'clock. And then you can catch the podcast live every Thursday at 9 p.m. EST only on the Bloodline Entertainment Network as well.
Salute,
So,
First
yes.
Lady.
Thanks for making me feel like shit for cracking a beer at 1:46 a.m.
Oh, you are right.
Yo, I just poured a
You
glass of
okay.
wine,
I've
brother.
been
I'm with
drinking
you, my
wine.
dude.
Yeah, I've been
Also, I don't
drinking
know if
wine
you-
this whole time. I've been drinking water so I don't get a fucking hangover tomorrow because I'll be
I don't
like,
know if you know WrestleBread, but in some circles they call me Loaf. So maybe
oh,
some bread.
Yo,
There it
JD, it's been awesome. We've been hanging out for like 6 hours now. It's been a hell of a night.
Yeah, this is the first time we've like actually engaged, other than the night I was in the chat on your show that one night.
Time I've been on the stream with her, so
Well,
But
I'm
no,
glad,
I was
I'm glad
happy to
this
be
all
on
happened.
here. Yeah,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
happy to be on here. I will love to be on here another time. So yeah, it's been fun talking with everybody and shooting the shit about Night of Champions versus AEW and talking shit about Cody, of course. As you know, I am
Throw your
president of the
ones up
Cody
for the
Haters
first
Club.
lady of the bloodline. Thank you, JD. Have a hell of a night. Have a great Memorial Day tomorrow.
You
Okay.
too. Thank you.
Take care.
Well,
Gents.
well, gentlemen.
It's just us. It is just us.
Shall we pull our hogs out now? Or
Yeah, we should. I think just 1 second. I'll bring you right back in just 14 seconds. I was lost without my background all day.
oh man,
It's just a small little tidbit, but man, I felt naked. And,
so should we all pull our hogs out?
why don't you get
he goes, should we all? Yo, I had a blast tonight. I had a fucking blast with JD all night.
Why don't
Fucking
you get
First Lady,
naked?
man. Great.
A+.
Tim, why don't you get naked?
Watching all the time.
I'm pretty much naked with my fucking head. It's ugly, dude. I hate it. I fucked up my hair. I was, I cut my own hair. So I had it lined up nice. And then I fucking went too deep. And I was like, oh, you fucking idiot, dude. And, and then I looked yesterday at the stream. My beard was all fucking weird. And I was like, oh, that's ugly. Not that this is any prettier. But I said, fuck it.
Hair?
You look beautiful, though. That's very nice to pull on. So
it's my Kota Ibushi cut.
Or Takeshita. Takeshita looks nice tonight.
Yeah,
bro.
hot
Yo, you know what? Let's keep it wrestling. So, Brett, we talked about Justin. We've talked about Dirt Sheet. Dan talked about all this. We know exactly where we're going with it,
man. Like,
so
you told me that he's
I'm not taking. Yeah, right. I'm not taking no credit for it. Yeah. Do you think that's what's going down right now?
Yeah, I mean, if Kota Ibushi's not coming, then what are we doing here? And there was like a sign in the crowd or somewhere that said, "How is Kota?" at some point. Because again, now it's 5-on-4. And I've said this before on my show and other places. Kota Ibushi was in a group with the Young Bucks and Kenny called the Golden Elite. Hangman is obviously there and part of this. And he was in Bullet Club at that time and more on that side. It was like a Kenny Cody Civil War. So it is the absolute perfect person to plug in here. And similarly, Takeshita came up in DDT with Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. Everything, like if this doesn't happen, I'm gonna be upset, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey,
Oh.
BJ Whitmer, what are we fucking doing here, guy? Tell your boy TK this is the most story that writes itself among fucking Forbidden Doors and whatever else." Like, and my God, like Kota Ibushi was my favorite wrestler in the world, 2018-19. Like, watch the G1 2018 and don't cry when it ends, because I sure did. When he beat, I don't know if you, I'm sure Justin probably has, but if Tim and Justin, if you haven't, the 2018 B block final between Kenny and Kota Ibushi.
Oh God, I don't think I've seen that one.
Are you guys kidding me?
I've seen it. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. Yo, you know my memory? Yeah, let's not have to talk about what my head goes through. But yes, I've seen it all, Daddy. I've seen it all.
But like, if it's not Kota Ibushi, then who? You know, we've got an imbalance here. It just makes too much sense, which is why I think. Well, and Ibushi's been outspoken of, I want to go to AEW, so it has to be. I'm gonna come when it happens, and if it doesn't, I'm gonna edge. And I'm going to edge, and I'm going to edge, and I don't mean Adam Copeland, and I'm going to edge, I'm going to edge, and I'm just going to wait for it to happen, because Dirt Sheet Dan got part 1 right, and hell, he may have even said part 2, but it just has to be this. Has to be.
Yeah. Justin, we talked about it. What do you think, bro?
Like I said, I told you before, we talked about this. I said it on your show. Dan has said it on your show. Dan has said it in the group chat. We've all basically said it everywhere. We are legitimately one step away from 5-on-5 blood and guts. It just makes all the sense in the world to bring Kota Ibushi in. The crowd was chanting for Ibushi when that during the beatdown.
Really? I didn't hear that.
The crowd was chanting for. Yeah, they were chanting for Ibushi.
So I brought it up, but I'm like, after it happened, I'm like, yeah, this probably isn't the time. But damn,
yo, Brian, really quick, I don't mean to cut you boys off here. Brian, great dude, great friend. Was your birthday this past Thursday, or is your birthday this coming Thursday? Let us know, especially with that big 4-0. Anyways, boys, go ahead, continue.
Yeah. We're this close. If they don't bring in Ibushi, I don't know who you bring in. You don't like. Why even teasing? You're basically saying we're bringing in Kota Ibushi here. If you don't do it, then what are like Brett said, what are we doing here? That'll be a huge letdown. Like I said, crowd was chanting for Ibushi. We all are calling. We basically have all locked this in and said Ibushi's going to be here.
Edging
5-on-5 blood and guts right now with Ibushi in there and Takeshita. And it's going to be fucking carnage again, and I can't wait to see it.
I had never thought about it until Tim told me that Mr. News, Dan Bakley, Dirt Sheet Dan, had this suggestion. And I talked a lot on Brainbuster Boys this past week. We had Diesel from VFTR 2.0 and Visionaries Global Media on.
Shouts.
And Tim, I know you are a huge fantasy booker, and you're a great fantasy booker, and that's not really my zone. Of course, everyone fantasy books to some degree, like what's going to come next. Oh, if this is happening, this might happen. But I'm not someone who looks too far ahead or like tries to process all the stories, because I just watch too many fucking matches from too many promotions and rate them, and that's my thing. But when fucking Tim told me that Bakley's like, yeah, Callis is going to have Takeshita join BCC because he's been mentoring him. He's obviously got the history with Kenny. And then I thought, oh my God, that opens up the spot for Kota Ibushi, who's been clamoring to come to AEW, who is already in a group with these guys, who has DDT history with Takeshita. So again,
I thought he was showing up at the end of the show. I thought he was going to show up at the end of the show. When the crowd was chanting for him, he's showing up, and I'm going to lose my fucking shit right here. But they went off the air without him. And
that would have made that show from an 8.25 to a 9.25.
It would have
His
been
sole
insane.
presence goes a full letter grade up.
So when do we think he comes then? Forbidden Door? Before that?
That's a good spot.
Obviously, Forbidden Door would make a ton of sense given New Japan, AEW, but like he's not a New Japan guy anymore. Like he's a free agent, but of course.
Well, supposedly, isn't he supposed to be going back?
That's what Bakley said too. One of Bakley's Dirt Sheet Dan 60 seconds with Dirt Sheet Dan, he said Kota Ibushi's going back to New Japan.
I haven't seen or heard that, but I also haven't looked.
But I heard about it.
So
and
I
I'm
was a little perplexed by that as well, but that also could be a smokescreen because he left on pretty fucking
Very
awful
bad
terms.
terms.
And the only thing he was going to do in the States was GCW
Yeah.
until what? AEW opened up for him. He said he'll
And
never go to WWE.
And Ibushi's always been like an enigma, man. Like he's a weird guy. Like
Which is why he won't go to WWE. He saw how Shinsuke's been treated. You could say all you want about everything but the world champion, but he ain't been booked well over there.
No, I mean
he's doing pretty solid in that cruiserweight when he was in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Oh, of course.
He was fucking
but they couldn't book him to win it
Dude.
or ZSJ because they weren't with the company, which is why they went TJP.
Justin, I put that over somewhere recently. I don't know. I think it was probably our show, but that was a hell of a fucking series. Shout out my boy High Five Tom.
I fucking love doing that.
He
and I'm looking forward
Justin
to
did a full review of the Cruiserweight Classic last year. It was fucking excellent.
So
But that was the first time I ever saw Kota Ibushi or even knew who he was because I didn't watch New Japan.
Oh,
at that
really?
point. Dude, I was so laser WWE until I saw fucking it was AJ and Nakamura at Wrestle Kingdom. Just happened to see it on my phone. And then it was the next year with Kenny and Okada that I really got into it. But yeah, I was WWE blinders. Never watched Ring of Honor, never watched TNA, nothing. Now I'm like
that's
the
so
total
perplexing.
Yeah, now I'm the complete opposite. And it's like, what can I find? I've already eclipsed my 4-star match total from all of 2021, and it's the end of May.
Ibushi for me was highlights. That's how I got to know who the hell he was just watching highlights on YouTube. And then when they announced him in the Cruiserweight Classic, I lost my shit. I'm like, this dude's in the fucking Cruiserweight Classic? That's fucking huge. And it was just like from there, seeing what he could do in that show.
The Cedric Alexander match, man.
That match is incredible, dude. I fucking rewatching that.
And I'll go back to Tom. Like he has the show Ring of Honor Revelry, and they recently reviewed a match. It was so fucking Cedric and Caprice Coleman were a tag team. And I can't even remember who they wrestled. It was ACH and someone, I think. And they were just talking so highly of it. And it's like, man, Cedric Alexander needs to get out of WWE. Like, let's get him anywhere else. But, like, I'd love to see him in, like, Noah, dude. Like,
I just want to see him in Japan. That's it.
Yeah.
I would fucking
Noah has been such a great like land of opportunity for foreigners at this point. Now that they're allowed in, like Thatcher has thrived there. Ninja Mac, fucking Saxon.
My guy right there. I fucking love Ninja Mac.
Oh, he's tight. Fucking Saxon Huxley, who I didn't even really know, and I don't really like that much. But like
that guy, really.
Yeah, he and Thatcher are the GHC tag team champs right now, actually.
That I did not know. Damn, I have to get into Noah now.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah,
holy
shit. Yeah, it's great.
Thatcher over there sounds like fucking awesome.
Perfect fit. There's someone else I'm thinking of that's over there, I think, or maybe it's just someone I wanted to go over there, but like there is so much opportunity in Japan for guys like Cedric Alexander or guys that are buried at the bottom of a roster. It's like, just go and you're going to be so fucking great because Japan is so fucking great.
I mean, you got me into Stardom, so.
Yo, why don't you guys talk about that little sexy stable over there that I just discovered?
Club Venus?
Who?
Club Venus?
Oh, my God.
Oh,
yeah.
Big sexy stable. Goodness
Fuck.
gracious. Mariah May. Lordy.
Yeah, dude, I was just scrolling through Stardom shit this morning. See, look at just random shit, just scrolling. And I was like, oh, what is this Club Venus shit? And I'm like, oh, because then I see Jessie Kamea, and I'm like, oh. And then I'm like, wait,
She's
she
the
was
most recent convert.
Yeah, I seen. Then I went on Wiki. I saw the whole thing, but I didn't see Zaya Brookside. Where is she?
Dude, I would love to know. It was her, Mariah May, and Mina Shirakawa were the initial three, and then she's just disappeared, and they've grown without her. So I guess she just didn't sign a contract or whatever. But
so she's like not there.
No, yeah, she's been not there for a while. So it's Mina Shirakawa, Mariah May, Xena, who's from Australia.
She's dope.
Jessie, who was Jessie Kamea, and then Waka Tsukiyama, which her story's fascinating because like she'd been in Stardom for years and had never won a match until like late last year. And she was part of Tam Nakano's group, Cosmic Angels, and then just fucking flipped to Club Venus because Mina similarly was in Cosmic Angels. Like, nah, I'm gonna get with these hot bitches over here, and we're gonna.
I saw her during one of the recent shows, and I was like, I like her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like a dope ass faction. I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll have to hit Brett up about Club Venus. Yeah, he's like, where the fuck have you been?
Well, yeah, if you've listened to the PSP, and which I know you have, but maybe not in a couple, but like we talk very highly of Club Venus to the point where, so actually last episode was the first time I've ever had a podcast episode that just didn't make air. Like we recorded something, JCB's cat, like, so we do it on StreamYard, but he records the audio and we use that because he's got like a mixer where we can use like drops and shit. One of his cats like stepped on a button and we lost the fucking recording.
Oh,
and it was so then we did like a re-record, but with some more like Best of Super Junior shit that hadn't happened. I forget where I was going with that. It had something to do with Stardom, but
Club Venus, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, so I saw something on fucking Instagram about them all like moving to Osaka. So I'd started the Lost episode, as we called it. Like JCB is the host, and he'll like introduce me. He's like, "Tell me something good," and I'll be like, "We're moving to Osaka." Like that was the thing. So that's with Club Venus. And when we re-recorded, I used the same one. It's like I said it once, it didn't make air. I'm gonna say it again. We're moving to Osaka. This Club Venus is full of 12.
Stardom's just got so many fucking awesome women. Like, holy shit.
It's
Azumi and Hazuki and fucking
it's ridiculous.
Momo Watanabe, dude.
The best roster in the world. Period.
They are fucking all of them. They're fucking incredible.
Like
there's women I don't even know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
After seeing them, and I'm still just like, I like them. They're fantastic.
Deepest roster in the world, and because we brought up the other day, like we covered TJPW as well, Tokyo Joshi Pro, which is where like, Yuka Sakazaki, Riho, other people that you know.
Shida there.
She's been there. Maki Ito is a mainstay, but it's like that roster is so top heavy, and they have a lot of younger people coming up. It's like, can we just loan like 6 Stardom stars that are like kind of middling that could just be super fucking stars over there? But yeah, the rosters.
They got Mei Saruga there, which I fucking love her, and
I love
Yuna Mizumori. I fucking love her too.
Oh, yo,
our daddy.
Fucking ones.
Congratulations, Nick! I can finally say it.
It's good, brother. Hashtag Dirt Sheet Dan.
Yeah. My name coming in was Dirt Sheet Dan Got It, and then I changed it to Tight Tits and the D.
I'm Dirty Dan. I got
Tim. Look at these tits.
The name says it all. Tightest tits in the game.
Oh man. Yeah, Brian says it, man. Stardom is prime. Them Yoshis ain't no joke. No, that's for
it's
sure.
incredible.
No, for sure. He says, can you imagine New Japan send a young lion to AEW for excursion, not counting Impact because they already had Tanahashi and
I
Okada?
would love that. Like Azar, my buddy Azar and I have talked about that. Like now that you have this partnership, send them over there. Like I would love to see fucking Kosei Fujita, Ichiban Sweet Boy over in AEW for a little bit. Shit.
Yo, first of all, I want to apologize to all the people in the comments because I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm always up with the comments, but apparently I wasn't getting the comments updated because I just looked over and I'm like, what the fuck? But Tribal Chief, Brian, yes, happy belated birthday to Brian. Yo, Tribal Chief wants to know, how come no one is acknowledging the fact of how many main eventers the Tribal Chief has made? I mean, he's not wrong. Brett, what's your take on that, man? Tribal Chief's made how many main eventers?
I don't know. You tell me.
I think the Usos, you got Solo Sikoa, you got Kevin Owens, you got Sami Zayn there. He made Claudio. He stacked Bryan and Edge. I mean, what are your thoughts on that statement?
I'm not in like full agreement of that. I think Kevin Owens was a main eventer well before that. I would give you Sammy for sure. He was not at that level. I'll give you the Usos Solo definitely. Aside from that, he certainly didn't make Claudio because Claudio left.
Those chicks ain't no Liv Morgan. Look at this cat, Blake. My boy, Blake doesn't even know what he's talking about, but that's the best I've ever seen. Co-host of Roto Slappers, my dude. Thanks for tuning in.
Chance.
I don't think he made any main eventers other than the Usos, Solo, and Sammy. But the biggest and most significant, definitely being Sami Zayn, for sure. Like that was massive. But if we're talking aside from that. He made Finn Balor turn into a fish that one time.
Finn was already a main eventer, so it's another one.
I don't know. And I'm not trying to shit on Roman Reigns. He's been fucking unbelievable. Don't get me wrong.
But, no, we put him over like crazy over here. So
but it has been the same shit.
Well, I'll just say that. Well, I haven't really feel like I'm putting him over as much anymore as late. Like, I feel like we're in a pretty rough portion of Roman's reign right now. Like, for me, I fell off when they unified the titles. That whole situation to me fucked everything up.
Correct.
The first year was fucking amazing. And it's just like, ever since they just unified the titles, everything just feels so just like off.
Couldn't agree more. And the fact that it was against Brock, which who gives a fuck about Brock Roman or who did that? You know, like it was done to the dirt. And I couldn't agree with you more. Like it meant something for so long. And even after they unified them, it still kind of meant something.
It had bits and pieces where it still
but
meant.
I think once they introduced this new title, it completely devalued everything Roman Reigns has done. And I don't like that one bit.
Wait, hold up. So you think the title devalued what Roman's done? Or it devalues the title?
See, that I don't agree with.
I think it devalued what Roman has done because it's like you unified the titles, and that should be the biggest deal ever. Like you've won both championships and you've carried them for well over a year. And it's like, all right, you're just so good and too good that we're just going to make another one. And it's like, well, then where does that leave him with his two titles on one show? Now it just feels like one title. And yeah, I don't like it. I think they could have gone about that whole reintroduction or splitting the titles or having a champ on Raw in a lot better way because like Triple H's explanation was just like, well, Roman had a clause in his contract that he didn't have to defend it. Like, so weak. And I know we're going back now, but
go back. You do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
Roman Reigns 1,000 days now
should be the pinnacle of WWE. You should only be going after that. Like, that is the prize.
Yes.
And now that's just stuck on one show.
Yes.
And then we have this new title. And the match was good. Like I said, I enjoyed the work, but it just didn't feel important to me at all. And like even like the ending I felt was kind of flat. It's just like, oh yeah, stomp, it's over. Like there was no true like. And again, I'm a big New Japan fan who does the crescendo so well. Like you build, and then it gets to a point of like, oh my god, I don't know what's going to happen. This just felt like move, match, big move, and then finish. And
You're right about it. You're actually right about that. When I was talking about that earlier, I said it felt like a New Japan match because it did build to that point. But once it got to the point, it just finished. Whereas it should have stomp 2 3/4.
Correct.
AJ fucking hits a phenomenal Styles Clash 2 3/4. Maybe a top rope Styles Clash. Seth kicks out. Super curb stomp. 1 2 3.
So
you're right.
Back to my point real quick, just to put a bow on it. I think now both titles, both world championships are devalued at this point, in my mind. Because what I just said about Romans, like it's like, all right, you are the pinnacle, but you're now shoved to just one show. And now we've got this other title on this other brand or this other show that is clearly secondary at this point to me, because this is what people have been fighting over for 1,000 days. And nobody could get it. And it's like, all right, well, let's just give you this consolation prize. So that's
why I agree with you to a point. Like, I don't think the new world title has devalued Roman's titles. I think WWE not doing anything and having him defend them is devaluing his reign. That makes it feel like you're just doing your damnedest to increase those numbers and do whatever. Like the world title at this point is basically going to be their distraction to be like, hey, focus on that. This is your workhorse title right now. Don't even pay attention to Roman. And that's a problem.
Exactly.
To me. That right there is the problem.
Exactly.
And it's just, again, the world title is suffering because everybody sees right through it. They're looking at it and going, it's a consolation prize. It's second place.
Roman
it's third
should
place.
be the sole focus for anybody at this point, because those were the 2 championships.
Yes.
There was a
but he's only going to be the sole focus of Cody.
The world title should have been introduced after the titles had been split. There was no reason why.
I think it goes back to what you said, Justin, is they never should have fucking merged them to begin with.
No.
And we would have never had this problem. And Roman could have stayed on SmackDown with the Universal title for 1,000 days. Granted, it wouldn't have been quite as big of a deal. But now we've got this whole mess of, like, again, to me, that his 1,000 days has just kind of been pushed a little to the side. And, you on this show, go chase this title. What Roman's been doing over here doesn't matter to you, even though he's been the pinnacle of the company for 1,000 days. So, and the fact that I care this much is great, because you guys both know, like, I was off WWE for years. So I'm so happy that I'm in and care again, for sure. So I guess at the end of the day, it's a win for me. But I just want it to be better.
I agree. I feel the same way, because I guess I've been saying it so many times. Nothing in WWE feels important other than what Roman's doing and everything Bloodline related. Other than that,
and Gunther,
nothing in the company matters. Not even. I don't even think Gunther's really that matters that much, because it's not Bloodline stuff.
I think it does, personally.
Well, so can I ask you fellas a question?
Yeah.
With this Bloodline stuff, with this Roman title stuff, I personally have felt, and we know how Justin felt, and Brett, maybe we'll get a better take how you feel. Roman WrestleMania, Cody wins. He already faced adversity. He doesn't need to face more adversity. Cody wins, comes on Raw the next day. I don't need 2 belts. I don't understand this. I'm taking this belt I'm the world's heavyweight champion. I conquered it.
My dad couldn't win or didn't win.
Right.
This is the one I won.
And here is the other belt, because I started. You can even say it. Just like I started the other company to give more talent and opportunity. I don't want both of these belts. Here's the other belt. Goes to SmackDown tournament. Seth wins it. Whatever. It is what it is.
Heard all the ranting I've done on TK's show. You know what I've been saying the entire time. Cody wins at Mania. Cody splits the titles on Monday night by having his whole, I finally did it. I completed the story, but there's just something that I'm just not feeling is right here. This is the thing that helps me complete the story. This helps somebody else start their own. Right here, right now, I'm vacating the Universal Championship. SmackDown gets their Universal Championship back. The WWE title stays with Cody, and then vice versa. If you were going to do the draft again, the WWE title stays with Cody and goes over to SmackDown. The Universal title goes away, and the world title gets introduced. Then you have your tournament. Then your world title exists. Then the world title is put on the same exact level as the WWE title. You're not sitting there going, this thing feels like, well, this is what we got to fight for anymore. This is what I'm aiming for, and it's up there with the WWE title. Like, bingo. WrestleMania, I will say it every time, WrestleMania was their out, and they fucked it up.
For 1,000 days. That they made feel less important by introducing a new title and making it about him in a tag team title match, if what I'm hearing is true from my guys.
Wait, I feel like you said you had a question for me about what Justin was just saying. You said you've heard him talk about it. I don't know what, but I'm fried.
You're all good. This split. Yeah, I want you to answer the same question. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah,
the splitting of the titles. Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Should Cody have won? How would you have split those titles?
Cody have won? Split it that way.
How do you break them up? Yep.
Yeah, it's a good question because I know I've told you, Tim, the shock value for me of Roman winning was so awesome. I didn't see that coming. I know I'm sure people thought there's a possibility, of course, but for me, it was so shocking, and it made me love it that much more because of the shock. But with where we're at now, would I have rather had Cody won and split the belts that way? Probably, because it just would have made more sense for the long term. But I think I would have rather had Roman win and don't reintroduce the title. Just fucking have Roman as your sole champ still, and have Cody beat him at SummerSlam, and then you split it, I don't know. Yeah.
I think WrestleMania was their out, and if they wanted to hold on and actually get this 1,000 days, then SummerSlam is your out. Again, I don't think anything was going to be bigger than WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. That is the place where moments happen, big things like that are going to happen. You're never going to get a bigger moment than that. And again, it just feels like right now they're putting Cody in a position where they're going to lose it. They're going to lose everything that they had. They're not going to get that back, what they had going into WrestleMania. Even if they try to push this all the way to Mania 40, it's not going to feel the same as it did at 30, heading into 39. It's going to feel lessened a lot because you waited so long. And you pushed it to where people are just like, oh, God, now we're doing this again. I kind of wanted something different now. It's going to be rough. Yeah. SummerSlam was your other option. If you weren't doing it at Mania, you do it at SummerSlam. And at that point, I think Cody needed to win Money in the Bank.
Not killed for me, but last night changed my opinion a lot. And it's not Cody's fault. Is the booking's fault, but that did not work for me at all. And yeah, I mean, it seems like we're going to go to WrestleMania 40 and he wins it off Roman. Yeah, I agree, Justin. Like, that was the time to strike. But again, for me personally as a fan, like, that shock value was fucking awesome. But like, if we're just talking big picture storyline for WWE, probably should have put the belt on him there. But here's the big issue too. It's like Cody's a Raw guy, which has Seth Rollins as the World Heavyweight Championship, a title that he is brand new. He doesn't give a fuck about that title. The whole reason he came to WWE, and he said it over and over and over, is to win the championship that his father never won, which is one half of the championships that Roman has. But it's like Cody winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship that Seth Rollins has would not finish the story.
No, exactly.
Because the story is the belt that Dusty or Dustin, who, how the fuck did he outlast Jay White in that Battle Royal tonight? Holy fuck. So, again, if we're going Cody over Roman at 40, like, they'll figure that out and make it work. But I agree. Like, if you were going to do that, it's going to not feel quite as hot and as special fucking 8-9 months from now, whatever. But Cody.
That's my one concern about the whole thing still. It just feels like opportunity was there, and now you're dragging it out, and now you're really testing the waters here. Like,
the question is, how do you book Cody now for a fucking year? And again, I've been saying it. I hated what happened last night.
That just means Cody wins the Rumble again then. And that's just like, that's
exactly where I was going with that.
That's so lazy because
is it though?
Yes, it is. Yes. Because everyone and their brother knew Cody was going to win the Rumble this year.
Yes, literally. Like, you have Cody come in. Like, I still, in my honest opinion, believe the Rumble this year was the only mistake they made, was having Cody come out 30. There's no reason why he should have came out 30. He should have came out earlier.
Granted, if that's what they did with Gunther was awesome, but I agree. Like, that should have been a Ric Flair 92. Like, you slog through the whole fucking thing.
And what if you guys are a year or two premature, and they're doing this all through now? So we're gonna get Roman versus Jimmy. We're gonna get Roman and Solo versus the Usos at SummerSlam. We're gonna get Cody versus Brock. And then you guys are right. I don't know what happens with Cody. Maybe what Devin just said. What if Cody goes away for a little bit? He goes and films a movie. Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
But
then he comes back
away for 9 months. Like,
the only way, and yes, this is where I was gonna go. This is what has to happen with him. You guys just said it. What was he? He was number 30 this year. What does he got to be next year? Got to be number 1.
I don't want that.
I get it. You don't, but your fantasy fucking fairy tale booking of the WWE, where the guy goes for fucking number 1, he felt adversity all year long.
From,
I'm sorry?
So that would be so telegraphed.
Right? Yes. Yeah, but isn't that for WrestleMania 40? Isn't that what you want? The telegraph story of the guy.
My thing is also
if there's 2 world championships, you don't have to have Cody win the Rumble to challenge Roman.
But how do you? Okay, so how do you get? All right, good. I like that you said that.
I didn't finish the story last year. Let me finish it now, motherfucker. You know, so you can figure that out.
Okay, so you just go and say, like, fuck your draft, fuck your brand split.
Yes, I've been on Raw. You've been on SmackDown. This is what I want. I'm coming to get it. Period. He doesn't need to win the Royal Rumble for that.
Yes, that's, to me, that's another thing that's going to turn people on Cody. If you have Cody win the Rumble again, whether it be 1 or anywhere else, people are going to turn on it. They're going to hate it.
Rumble's a vehicle to get someone over, maybe that's already over, or maybe that isn't. And it's like, we just don't need that again. And I think, like I said, you can get to Roman and Cody just like that. Like, hey, we've been separated for a year. I was this close. So,
Brett, can I ask you the question? Do you want Roman and Cody at 40? Is that like what, or would you prefer Seth loses the title at some point this year? He wins the Royal Rumble, and the two best friends go and fucking just bang it out for fun at WrestleMania for 40.
I'd be okay with that. But I think if Cody's when Cody wins a world title, it should be that world title.
Correct.
The one that Roman
has no lineage. They announced it yesterday. 0.
It means nothing to him.
Started yesterday.
Yeah, so I don't give a fuck how we get there, but whenever Cody wins the world title, it better be that initial WWE championship that he wants and has longed for, and not this new belt, because that would just be so fucking hollow.
That's why I kind of feel like we'd have to go give him Money in the Bank.
Well, and who else is there though, Justin? Who else would you give Money in the Bank to, other than a returning Drew McIntyre?
LA
Finn Balor
would be tight, yeah.
Who does LA Knight beat though? Seth? He won't beat Roman.
You don't have to beat anyone yet. I get, yeah. Cody
I'm talking long term, 1 year. Cody
would do the thing where he would say, "I'm gonna win it and I'm cashing it in at WrestleMania." Like, who was it, Cena or whomever else that made the point to hold it? I would be fine with that.
If Cody won it and just said, "I'm holding this till WrestleMania 40," whoever is the champion, I'm
fine.
1:27 a.m.
As long as it's the WWE Championship and not this new fucking legacy-less title.
So you're saying, Brett, you're saying Cody should win the Money in the Bank briefcase and then come out on Raw hypothetically and say, "I'm holding this briefcase until..."
I didn't say should, but if he does, either that or I'm going after Roman at SummerSlam.
Yes, I think SummerSlam is your best bet. You do not need to drag. If Roman's going to tell this story with the Usos and Solo, there's no reason why those titles need to be held hostage in that whole situation.
Yeah.
Get those titles off of Roman.
Cody shouldn't give a fuck about Seth Rollins because he beat him 3 times.
One day, Tribal Chief. One day he'll hop on with us, baby.
Listen to me, Tim. Cody, let's say hypothetically, Devin, love you. Cody, if he wins Money in the Bank, he shouldn't give a fuck about Seth Rollins and the World Championship.
I agree.
He beat Seth Rollins 3 times, and that championship means nothing to him. He has nothing to prove with Seth Rollins. He pulls down that briefcase. He comes out and says, "We're on separate brands. I don't give a fuck. I'm coming for Roman, and I'm going to make my call at SummerSlam. Let's go."
Not even. I hope he doesn't even do that. If he won Money in the Bank, I want him to just hold this and just go, "You know who I'm going for." Yeah. And when it happens, I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat Roman, and I'm going to even do this. I'm even going to be the guy to pin Roman Reigns in that whole situation and actually have him do it at SummerSlam right before the match even starts. If whoever Roman defends the title against at SummerSlam, right before the bell even rings, Cody comes out, cashes in, we get a triple threat, and in that process right there, you even have Cody pin Roman to fucking put an end to it. Right then and there at SummerSlam. Roman can go do his thing where he's going to go take his time off and do whatever. The titles are back on TV. The Universal title can go do whatever the hell you got to do. Cody goes over to SmackDown with the WWE title. We are solved right there.
I would love all of this, no matter how it happens, over Cody beating Roman at 40. Because we've hit the 1,000 days. What else is there? It doesn't need to go to 40. If it did, I'm not going to be mad about it, but Money in the Bank is the perfect vehicle for this. And we just laid it out. However it goes, you have Cody win it and it's like, fuck this championship. I own Seth. He's not going to say that, but I don't need that. And I don't want that, but I want this. And no matter when and where it happens, as long as if he wins it, as long as he calls out Roman.
He knows his focus is Roman. That's it.
Yo, you guys just got me thinking that is going to make Seth even thirstier. So now I'm fucking formulating in my head triple threat match, WrestleMania 40. It's going to be Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. Seth, yes, because Seth, exactly, nipple mania, baby. Because Seth is like, wait, bitch, I'm not good enough for you to fucking come after. Cody's like, no, I'm going after Roman only. Seth's like, no. Maybe he loses his title to Drew McIntyre or something. So you got Drew doing something else over here. Seth wins the Royal Rumble, so he can get involved with whatever Roman and Cody is doing. Seth, Roman, Cody, triple threat at WrestleMania. And yes, as much as I would love one of my Shield brethren to win that match, it's Cody's time. Cody wins the belt and becomes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Or even if Cody does win it at SummerSlam, you could still do that match.
Yeah. Even then, Seth, even if Cody wins and cashes in at SummerSlam, that's still motivation for Seth somehow.
Correct. Cody winning Money in the Bank and gunning for Roman alone is motivation for Seth.
Yes, Seth looks at that and goes, I'm not good enough to challenge. Well, guess what I got to do now?
He shouldn't need motivation for Cody. And hopefully that's coming at some point, because the fact that Cody still won those 3 matches, I don't agree with. But, yeah, Seth should feel disrespected by that. And I think, again, you don't need Royal Rumbles or anything. The story is there. Cody wins Money in the Bank, guns for Roman, whether he wins it or not. Maybe you drag it to WrestleMania. Seth loses his title, like you said, and he's like, what the fuck? Like, I was the top dog on Raw. You left Raw, or you didn't care about me. You wanted this belt. Like, I'm better than all of you. Fuck you.
Hell, even if he lost the title.
Great call.
Hell, even if he lost the title and Cody was still WWE champion and Seth wins the Royal Rumble, he confronts Cody just like, you took your time and used your Money in the Bank to cash in on Roman, and you basically looked at me like I wasn't worthy enough to challenge, and Cody basically has to pull the whole, you know what I did, you know why I did it. I was trying to complete this thing for not only my family but for myself at the same time. Like, we get that back at WrestleMania again, except with the WWE title on the line. Like, that's freaking huge.
Let's call up Paul Levesque. We booked the Mania 40 main event.
Bro, we've booked so many freaking things on AEW and WWE here. I'm telling you, give us all the fucking pen. We will book these damn shows.
Give us the fucking pencil. Give us the fucking pencil. That's the name of it, and that's how we're ending it. Fellas, I love you. It's been a hell of a fucking night. It's been a hell of a weekend. Brett says it's been a mid-weekend. I've enjoyed it mightily. And I'm kidding. Brett's enjoyed it mightily because he's hung out with friends and did his thing. And he got to come on with yours truly. It's been forever, bro. I missed you so much.
Yeah, this has been fucking great. I love you guys.
God, you're the best, dude. You're the best. Can you just let the people know where they can find you?
Oh shit, yeah. At Brainbuster Boys, Twitter and Instagram, Visionaries Global Media, and all podcasting platforms. Yeah, Vince and the Machine Part 2 will be coming out this week, along with our Double or Nothing and Night of Champions mid reviews. But yeah, things are getting wild behind the scenes with the creative in WWE. Holy shit. Yeah.
Love you, bro. Thank you so much for coming on. Bo, it was awesome, dude. And T, your whole little group over there, Brett. Appreciate you. And my boy, Justin, where can the people find you? Only on Twitter. You want to do one more? You want to throw it up? Brett, you want to do it with us? A 1 and a 2 sweet? There it is. Boom, baby. Boom, baby.
You see it if you're watching this right now, you see it on the screen. If you're going to be end up listening to this on audio or anything else, at Justin Time 211, capital J, capital I, capital T, only on Twitter. In Time Wrestling Podcast. Yes, it's been on a very long hiatus. It's been actually like 6 months, which is fucking insane. That's a long damn time right now. But again, you know what? A lot of you know what's going on. And again, I'm telling everybody every single time, doesn't mean the show's gone. We will be back. So go listen to the old episodes right now, because again, you're going to want to know what you're in store for, because it's going to be a blast when it comes back.
That's right. Justin, you're the best, bro. And like I always say when Justin finishes it up, it might have been 6 months, 4 months, 3 months, but where can you find him? Right here, always on the Tim King Show. And he's all over on the local IWC podcast net waves, man. This dude is all over the place.
He's on the circuit.
Man. One more time, I'll throw my ones up, my two sweets up. Justin, I love you so much. Brett, God damn, my sexy man. I like to pull that hair. But for me, your boy, at the Tim King Show on Twitter, if you want to engage, at the Bloodline ENT on Twitter. And just search the Bloodline Entertainment Network. You can find us on all major audio platforms, including Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Music, and more. And when you do that, you will pull up bloodlinenetwork.com, your home for sports, wrestling, entertainment, all of our videos, all of our audio, all under one roof. Thank you so much for kicking in with the Bloodline. Please go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We appreciate it so much. For all of you in the chat, for all of you who will listen, thank you. Brett, Justin, your boy, TK, we out.
Peace.